Hi, welcome everyone. Thanks so much for joining us today for our live demonstration of our software tool, SellerPulse. So hopefully you already know a little bit about this tool from the emails, or maybe you're a current customer right now. But what SellerPulse does is it provides SKU-level insights to help you manage profitability and hopefully say goodbye to a lot of Seller Central reports. So if you're frustrated with cobbling together a lot of different Seller Central reports, I think that you'll be really excited by what you see today. So I'll go ahead and introduce myself. I'm Colleen Quattlebaum. I'm the Director of Marketing here at Ecom Engine, and Ecom Engine is the provider of SellerPulse, along with two other tools, Feedback 5 and Restock Pro. And joining me today is Louis Mizell, our Director of Product, and he's the brains behind all of the features and everything that go into building all of our awesome products. So thanks for joining us, Louis.
Absolutely. Great to be here.
All right, so just kind of a brief overview of SellerPulse. These are many of the features that we'll go into today in the software demo. We will share with you listing alerts, our inventory and returns reports, the buy box report that's been getting great feedback from customers and sellers for the past few months since we rolled this out earlier this year. And then our three newest reports, which are a SKU economics report, an FBA fees report, and proceeds analysis. So just a brief overview of the listing alerts that are included in SellerPulse. SellerPulse provides when your listing is changed, whether it's a title or an image change, a brand name change, or if your number of offers changes, because that can often warn you that there could be a potential hijacker on your listing. And the alerts also let you know if you've won or lost the buy box, as well as when the buy box has been suppressed. We also tell you about a lot of different fee alerts as well, that, for instance, FBA dimension changes that can impact your fees, low inventory level fees. So we'll be sure to share all of this with you here in a few moments. But right now, being that it is fourth quarter, obviously taking a look at making sure that you have a process in place to get alerted is very important, because if you miss out on a few hours, even on Black Friday, for instance, because your listing is suppressed, it could mean thousands of dollars in lost sales. So now's a great time to utilize these features. So we wanted to make sure everybody's up to speed and knows all about SellerPulse. So one of the reports that we'll go into in detail today is how to win the buy box more often with our buy box report. So this is just a sneak peek, but I don't want to steal Louis's thunder. And then we'll go into detail about our newest features that were just rolled out earlier this week, the SKU economics summary and the analyzed proceeds report and FBA fees report. So we are recording this webinar, so we'll send out the recording to everybody afterwards. And we do welcome questions all throughout. So I'll be monitoring the questions and we'll be sure to jump in and answer them throughout. But I'll go ahead and turn it over to Louis so he can jump into the software.
All right. Thank you so much, Colleen. Let me share my screen. All right. So first, I'm going to run through the SellerPulse alerts features, the listing alerts that Colleen was discussing. And then I'm going to talk about each of the different analytics reports within SellerPulse as well. So currently, I'm within Ecom Engine software tool. You'll see, just to kind of orient everyone, along the top are the products. We have SellerPulse, which we're demoing today. Feedback 5, which is our feedback and review automation tool, product review monitoring, and Restock Pro, our FBA inventory management tool. So all of our tools are available right within this platform. Today, we're obviously going to be focusing on the SellerPulse features. So for SellerPulse, first I want to talk a little bit about setup. It's super easy. As soon as you are signing up, you'll connect your Amazon account with a few clicks. And once you do that, we're able to access all of this important data for you. And really, the next thing that you need to do is log into this dashboard page and just decide which of these alerts that you want to activate. By default, they will all be switched off, but it's as simple as simply clicking the toggle switch here and selecting the alerts that you would like to receive and saving those changes. And as soon as you do that, we will start sending these emails out to you for these events across your entire catalog. You don't have to, select which ASINs that you want to monitor. We're going to do that for all of your products, and that's at no additional charge. If you're familiar with our product review tool, that's something where you do add them individually. But with our listing monitoring, this applies to all of your products. One other quick kind of setup item to point out is that you also are able to choose when to receive these alerts. And there's two options. You can either receive them individually. So as these events are happening throughout the day, we will send individual email alerts to you. Or, if you want to get them all at once and you don't need to be alerted to the minute and don't want your inbox filled with a lot of different emails, you can choose the daily digest option and choose the actual hour of the day. And we'll kind of combine all of those events into a single alert for you. And then finally, with configuration, you can choose which products you want to send them for. I mentioned that we send them for all, but if there's certain products that are gonna not be as important to you, or you really only want to focus on a certain set of products, that is something that we support. You can simply go to this page here and by alert type, you can determine which products you want to receive those alerts for. And then the final thing that I'll mention is with all of our accounts, you can add unlimited users, and each of those users can choose to receive these alerts or not. And that happens here on our settings page. Just navigate to users. You can add them as many as you like to keep everyone within your business informed on these events. All right, so I'll kind of run through the different alert types. First is listing status alerts. So to get these listing status alerts, we're connected to Amazon's Selling Partner API, specifically their notifications API. And so Amazon is sending these notifications as they happen. So we are getting real-time updates on any listing status changes. And a really important one is search suppressed. So as you all know, Amazon is constantly monitoring listings and looking for issues with listings or language that they feel like may violate policy. And Amazon's detection of that, cannot be great at times, or they can sort of overstep and incorrectly flag issues. And one of the things that they will do if they see an issue with a listing is they will make it suppressed from search results. And this is a really big one, especially coming up Black Friday and the holidays. You want to make sure that all of your listings are good and that they are showing up for search. And the reason that it's important to have alerts for this is Amazon does not send you an email notification when they do this. And it's also kind of hard to detect. You might navigate directly to your ASIN, to your product detail page, and everything will look great. You aren't able to see that it is search suppressed on the product detail page. The only way that you could notice that is if you search for your product and find that it is not showing up in the search results. So this is something that is hard to detect, but it's really critical to detect to make sure you're not missing out on sales. So I definitely recommend configuring to get the search suppressed alert. We also send alerts for any status changes. So if it becomes inactive, or if it's deleted, or if it was inactive and it becomes active again. The next category is listing content changes. So all of your important changes to the listing, if the title changes, the main image changes, or the bullet points, we send notifications of that. Sometimes Amazon can do funny things to listings. They can merge them or make changes. And so it's good to monitor your listings for any issues like that. Also, other sellers can get on your listing and make changes. So you want to make sure that you're kind of monitoring that. And then some sellers also, just like to keep a record of the own changes that they are making, so they can go back and try to remember when they changed the title or the image. So our system is great at notifying and also keeping a good record of all these changes. Flagged as adult product is one that can be important. Sometimes that can happen, and that will certainly cut down on your sales. And then we also have an alert for any dimension and weight changes. And so these are the dimensions and weight that Amazon bases their fulfillment fees on. So if there are any incorrect changes in your dimension and weight, you want to be notified of that so that you aren't incorrectly getting charged too many fees. Buy box notifications, these are a really important one. So we send email alerts for any lost or suppressed buy box events and also winning the buy box. And so for suppressed buy box, that's basically anytime no one is winning the buy box. And a lot of times this can happen if Amazon detects a price off the marketplace that's lower or close to the price that you have on Amazon. And so this is an important one to look after. You might be a brand and not really competing with other sellers for your own buy box. But even still, you can get these suppressed buy box events. So it's important to get alerts for that. And one of the things that's important with our alerts is that we're actually going to include that price that Amazon is finding offline. It's called the competitive price threshold. And it's not always included in the data that we get, but most of the time it is. So if you do have a suppressed buy box event, you will get that alert with that competitive price threshold data. Also, for losing the buy box, we include the offer that won the buy box. We include that seller's name and contact information, email address or address when it's available. So you can understand exactly who is winning the buy box. And if it's somebody that, should not have access to your inventory, you can use that contact information to reach out to that seller. We also have inventory alerts, so stockouts and low inventory level fees. The low inventory level fee was something that came out this year and caused a lot of anxiety among sellers. So this is a good way to kind of stay on top of that and monitor whether any of your SKUs are incurring the low inventory level fee. Number of offer change alerts. So this is kind of similar to the buy box, but for any of your listings, we're going to monitor if the number of offers increases or decreases. And so this can be helpful for you if you're a brand and you don't anticipate any other sellers being on your listing. This is a good kind of safeguard for you to monitor activity and see if somehow other sellers are jumping on your listing. We also find that a lot of wholesalers that are competing with other sellers on a lot of their listings, they like to use this feature to stay on top of the competition. Maybe they kind of have a good idea of which ASINs they're competing for and which sellers they're competing against. And they like to just kind of stay on top and see which of their competitors are jumping on and off of their listings. So this is a good way to stay informed of all of that. So yeah, that was kind of a quick rundown of all the different alert types. One other important feature that we have is, in addition to sending out these emails, we also keep a record in the alerts log page. And so we're keeping the last 30 days for all of these events. And actually, we're in the alerts log section. This is going to include events even if you're not getting the emails for them. So as long as you turn on at least one email alert, all of these other events will be here. And this demo account that I'm using does not have data for the alerts log, so it's blank here, but I can show kind of a screenshot of what it looks like. So all of these different events here, number of offer changes, buy box, are going to be arranged in time. You can click to see more details. So we're currently looking at a lost buy box event. You can see that we're comparing side by side the winning offer with your offer. We're showing you who, which seller is winning the buy box, what their seller rating is, comparing the price, shipping, and fulfillment. And we're kind of able to call out, whether your price is better or worse, and kind of help you visually see that. So this is a really powerful tool to kind of go back and see a history of what's happening with your products. And we have ways to filter. You can click for an individual ASIN and get a nice history of all the events that are happening for that single ASIN. Or you can filter by event type and see, okay, in the last 30 days, what are all the times that I lost the buy box? And this data is available for download via CSV. So if you want to throw this into Excel and do some other visualizations with that, you can do that as well. And I'll show one other example. This is a suppressed buy box event, and you can see that we include that competitive price threshold as well.
Okay, Lewis, before we move on to the reports, we do have one question about the alerts. For any ASIN, do you show the number of units each competing seller has in stock at FBA?
Yeah, we do not have access to competitors' inventory data. I understand, why that would certainly be valuable to you all, and we're always, looking for additional data sources and creative ways to share valuable information with you. So, that's something we've thought about and talked about with sellers, but currently do not offer that at this time.
Thanks. Feel free to ask more questions, everybody. And now you'll go on to the reports, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have 4 different reports that I'd like to cover. So similar to the alerts, you do need to activate the data for these reports. And that's just because, a lot of these reports involve a good bit of data. So we don't want to be pulling all of this data from your account if, this is not something that you're interested in. By default on sign up, we will activate the SKU economics, returns, and inventory report. But the buy box is one that it's a little more of a niche kind of use. So we'll leave that off, but if you just activate it, you'll have access to that. So I'll jump into the buy box report. And this has 2 pages. One is a buy box summary and then the losing offer details. So on the summary page, we're showing you your entire active catalog by buy box status. So the percentage and number of SKUs that are winning the buy box, losing the buy box, and those that have no winner or are suppressed. And so for each of these ASINs, we're going to show you the number of competing sellers. And the table here is sorted by competing sellers. So, you're able to see which of your ASINs have the most competition there. We're going to show your price, shipping, and fulfillment. So this is a nice kind of overview and a nice way to get an understanding of the buy box competitive activity across your entire catalog. If you want to export this data, you can simply hover over these 3 dots to click more options and then click export data. The other page is that for these records where you are losing the buy box, if you click the losing offer details, we're going to give you a nice breakdown of all your offers where you're losing the buy box. And so the first thing that we're doing is we're arranging this data by the seller that's winning the buy box. So for this particular demo seller, Amazon is winning most of them, and we see that happens a pretty good bit. But we also identify the seller that's winning across your catalog. And you can, if you want to kind of hone in on one particular competitor, you can click that competitor and it's going to filter the results by that individual competitor. The other thing that we're doing is showing you a nice, for each losing offer, a nice side-by-side on all the kind of key points of the offer. So a side-by-side on price, and anytime you have the higher price, we're going to highlight that in red. And anytime you're winning and have the lower price, we're going to highlight that in green. We're going to compare the shipping charges as well as the fulfillment channel, whether it's merchant fulfilled or Amazon fulfilled. And then finally comparing the seller rating as well. So really powerful report to get a nice understanding of real-time buy box status across your entire catalog. All right, the next report that I will run through is the inventory planning report. So this is a great report to get a good, thorough overview of everything that's going on with your inventory. And really, we see kind of two major use cases for this. One is, if you don't have a software system in place for managing your inventory, a lot of sellers are just kind of getting by with spreadsheets and downloading data. Then I think you will find that this is a great report to help you, get all of the information that you need to manage your inventory and plan your replenishment. But the other use case as well is, a lot of kind of larger sellers and brands, they have a whole operation devoted to maintaining their inventory and a lot of systems in place. And so in a lot of cases, this report is not trying to replace all that. But what it can do is keep all of the stakeholders within your business nicely informed of everything that's going on with inventory. So if someone is planning your advertising or planning other aspects of the business, it's good to stay informed on inventory, see what is stocked out, see what might be close to being stocked out, just to keep everyone informed of your inventory. So I'll run through quickly. There are 4 different sheets: the dashboard, a plan inventory page, low inventory level fee, and aged inventory surcharge. So I'll run through each of those. On the dashboard, we give a nice breakdown of all of your inventory units according to whether they're fulfillable, whether they're inbound and the specific categories of inbound, unfulfillable, and reserved. We also give a nice sales summary over 7, 30, and 90 days, showing you the units sold and also the unique number of SKUs that are sold over those time frames. We also kind of lay out your catalog according to days of supply. So for this particular seller, they have 39 SKUs with only 0 to 7 days of supply, up to 90 plus days of supply, 257 SKUs. And then, with Amazon and FBA inventory management, they will charge you if you don't have enough inventory, and they will charge you if you have too much inventory. So, it's certainly tricky to kind of always maintain that perfect level of inventory to avoid all of those fees. So, with this report, we give you a nice set of data to be able to manage both of those ends of the low inventory level and the aging inventory. And then finally, we're showing you your recent stockouts. And the way that we're defining that is we're identifying any SKUs where the fulfillable quantity is 0, but the units sold in the last 7 days is greater than 0. So this is kind of highlighting the SKUs in your catalog that have recently stocked out. So I'll jump to the plan inventory page. And so, this is going to give you all the relevant information that you would want to be able to plan your replenishment. So we're kind of laying out your catalog by days of supply, and these filters here allow you to kind of highlight the SKUs that you want to look at. Obviously, you're going to want to pay attention to these 39 SKUs here that only have 0 to 7 days of supply remaining. So you can click that and filter this table, get an understanding of which of these SKUs do have some in inbound, and plan your replenishment as well. We have nice filters to be able to look at your inventory, which SKUs have reserved units, unfulfillable units. So a nice set of data to manage your inventory. And again, if you want to export that to Excel, simply hover over the 3 dots and click Export Data. All right, we next have similar data, but for the low inventory level fee. So under plan inventory, we were looking at days of supply, but for the low inventory level fee, Amazon charges that based on a slightly different metric called historical days of supply. And so we're laying out your catalog according to historical days of supply, and any SKUs that fall below 28 historical days of supply can be incurring the fee. And so kind of the critical data points here is we actually just have a column that says whether or not this SKU is incurring the fee. So you can just sort by that and see which of those are incurring the fee. Some you will see here, have a historical days of supply below 28, but they are not incurring the fee, and that's because they're exempt from the fee. So Amazon has a couple of different ways that you can avoid getting that fee. One is, if the unit sold is low on that. So this gives you all the data that you would want to need in order to manage that low inventory level fee. And then finally, aged inventory surcharge. This data is very helpful in understanding which of your SKUs are currently incurring fees for aged inventory, and it lays it out across all of the different days. If it's over 180 days, you'll start getting charged, and those fees escalate the older it gets up to over 365 days. So really helpful way to kind of lay out all this data to understand, which units you need to move to get that old inventory out there and stop incurring all of those fees. All right, I will jump over to the returns report.
We do have one
So-
question here, Louis,
Yeah, sure.
regarding the dynamic buy box that Amazon is rolling out. And so they're just asking, Stephanie's asking, which buy box are we showing?
Yeah,
So-
so when we get buy box information, that's coming from Amazon's any offer change notification. And so that is API based data, and they will send us who is the current winner. And so that's what we are reporting. There are some cases where Amazon will send multiple sellers. They will have multiple offers winning the buy box at once. And if that is the case, we'll show both of those offers as well. So that's the buy box winning information that we're showing. All right, so for the FBA returns report, this is a report for FBA returns, and we're looking at the last 90 days of returns across your entire catalog. And so we're laying it out in terms of products, so you can immediately see which of your products have the highest amount of returns. Also by reason. So these are Amazon's encoded reasons for the return that they allow the buyer to select. We also show returns by disposition or the condition of the product, which of them are sellable, which are coming back damaged. And then we're also including all of the buyer comments that buyers are able to leave when they make a return, when they describe the reason that they return the product. We're kind of bubbling that up into a word cloud for you to get an understanding of why buyers are returning your products. And so the powerful thing with this particular report is you can filter the report by all of these different dimensions. So if you're interested in looking at your product with the highest number of returns, you can filter by that and then see not only the returns over time for that product, but the specific reasons for that. And you can see that this particular product, the main reason is that the apparel was too large. So that's kind of immediately going to give you some information if you're thinking about, what can I do to cut down on returns for this particular product. The other thing that you can do is sort by a particular reason. Maybe you want to think about or understand why you're getting returns that are defective. So if you click on that particular defective reason, now you're able to see all of your defective returns over time and see which products are getting returned the most for that particular reason, and also kind of drill into some of the different comments that are coming back for that. So really powerful report. One of the use cases, in addition to looking for opportunities to improve your product, you can also look for opportunities to improve your listing. Not as described is a good reason to think about. Maybe folks just were a little bit confused by the listing. They were expecting something else. So you can kind of drill down on this not as described reason, see which of your products are getting returned for that. If you want to get further into the buyer comment data, the next page we have is going to give you all of the specific comments that buyers are leaving. And so this can be really helpful, if you want to highlight a particular product and just kind of go down and read all of the comments for that product. You can also, export this comment data and upload it into AI, like a chat GPT, and get them to run a sentiment analysis or run a summary and identify opportunities to improve the product or improve the listing. So a lot of good data here. And really, the benefit of this is that it can just be a headache to go into Seller Central and download this data and kind of manipulate it in the way that you want it. And we just have all of that ready for you in this nice, accessible returns report. All right, I think I've saved the best for last here. We're going to go into the SKU economics report. This is a very powerful report that gives you a lot of the key metrics in running your business. So so just to kind of talk a little bit about this data, this is coming from Amazon's API yet again, and it's coming from their SKU economics data set. And we're pulling the last 12 weeks of data, and we're presenting it weekly. So each of these bars that you see here represents 1 week. So you're looking at roughly a quarter of time, which is a good window to kind of look back at the performance of your business. And all of this data is presented by Child ASIN. So there's kind of 5 categories of data that we're showing: sales, returns, FBA fees, ad spend, and proceeds. And proceeds is what we're doing here is we're taking the sales figure, subtracting the refund amount, the FBA fees amount, and ad spend to get this proceeds figure. And basically, this is very close to a profit calculation, but it does not include your own cost of goods. But you could certainly download this data and add your own cost of good to get a true a true profit calculation. So I'll just kind of go in to each one of these here. So for sales, we're showing you the total sales each week, and those are represented by each of these blue bars, and also the average selling price, and that's represented by the blue line here. And so you can sort the table. This is showing all of the ASINs in your catalog according to sales. And so you can sort that, to see high performers and low performers, sort by either price or sales, and also by the change from the previous week. So we're going to call out for each of your ASINs, what was the weekly change in total sales. Similarly, for returns, we're showing in the purple bars the total refunded amount for each week. And then we're also calculating return rate. So the units refunded divided by units sold, and return rate is going to be graphed by this line here. For FBA fees, summing the total fees across your entire store, and then also calculating a cost to sales metric. And so that's basically taking your FBA fee amount and dividing it by the total sales. So you can understand what percentage of my sales is going away due to FBA fees. And that cost to sales metric is graphed in the blue line here. For ad spend, showing total ad spend, and this is just sponsored products ad spend, and then we're also calculating that total advertising cost of sales, or TACOS metric, which is similar to cost of sales. You're basically taking total ad spend, dividing it by sales to get an understanding of the impact of your advertising dollars to your total sales. And so that TACOS is going to be graphed with this blue line here. And then finally, for proceeds, calculating your total proceeds, and also a margin calculation. So what percentage of my sales am I able to take home after accounting for the refunds, FBA fees, and ad spend. And again, similar to the returns report, what's powerful about this particular page is you can click on a particular ASIN, and all of these different graphs are going to update for that product. So you can see for your top selling ASIN, what that return rate is looking like over the last quarter, what that cost to sales metric and total FBA fees is looking like over the quarter. Same with ad spend and proceeds. So, a couple important use cases for this particular sheet is, one is to go through and immediately identify your top performers and your low performers. Which of my products have the highest return rate? Which of my products have the worst profit margin? Which of my products are not very efficient with ad spend and with fees? So identifying low performers is obviously something that is important. Another one is looking for anomalies or any issues. I recommend on this sales page going through your top selling products periodically and just clicking through and see if you see any spikes. Like for this particular product, there's a big spike in returns in this particular week. And so, if you were able to see that, maybe that would make you go over to that FBA returns report and highlight for that week and see what was going on. What products were they returning? And, what was the reason for that return? So really good, just way to kind of stay on top of your business and stay on top of all the key metrics for your business. And as you might have seen, we're just showing the ASIN for each of these tables, but if you want to identify which product that is, you can simply hover over it and it'll give you the title, the image, and the average price.
And Louis, we do have a question about the units sold. Is that included in the report?
Yeah, units sold is not on this summary page, but it is on the analyze proceeds page. Yes.
Okay.
That's
We'll
a
get
great
into that in a
question.
minute. And we have a couple questions about fees, but I think you'll be answering them in this next report. But if not, I'll be sure to touch on
Yeah,
those. Okay.
yeah. I'll jump over to analyze FBA fees, and if I don't cover any of that, then yeah, I'll talk about it then. All right, so on the Analyze FBA Fees page, this is going to give you a nice breakdown of all the different FBA fees across your entire store. So we're showing you first all your products according to FBA fees over the last 12 weeks. We have a filter here if you want to change the date range and hone in on a particular date range. And then we're showing over that 12-week period, the FBA fees that you're getting charged, and we're breaking it out by fee type. So you can visualize which of the different FBA fees are contributing to your total fee amount. And so, it's obviously going to be helpful to be able to select an individual product and analyze the fees of that product. But similarly, if you just want to kind of drill down on a specific fee type, you can click on that. And, now you're seeing across your entire store what your fulfillment fee charges are over the last 12 weeks. And another thing that you can do if you only want to look at fulfillment fees for a particular product, you can hold down the control key, click that, and now I'm looking at one particular product and FBA fee over that period. So a lot of kind of functionality for filtering this data set. And we're also showing this donut graph to just give you a breakdown from a percentage standpoint of the fees, and that's going to update as you select each product. So really powerful tool to be able to understand all of the different FBA fees that are being charged to your business.
Yeah, so one of the questions was, does it include storage and placement fees? So we didn't call that out specifically, but FBA storage fees are included in this.
Yep.
And then is this calculating or taking into account refunded FBA fees in the calculations?
Yes. Yeah, you can see that refund commission fee here. Yep, that's right. And we also include in our help center a link to the Seller Central article regarding the SKU economics data set, and that goes into detail all the different fee types that they do include there. All right, so I will jump to the final page of the SKU economics report, and this is the analyze proceeds page. And so this is going to give you a much more detailed rundown of the proceeds calculation. And so one of the things we do is we just kind of lay it out in the formula so you can sort of visualize what's going on here. So for this particular store over the last 12 weeks, they've had 1.2 million in sales. We're subtracting 243,000 in refunds, 300,000 in FBA fees, 67,000 in ad spend, and that's equaling 579,000 in proceeds. And so, you can see that basically this is the profit calculation, but it's not taking into account cost of goods. If you want to get that true profit calculation, all of this data here is available for export, and you can see we do have that unit sold. So basically, if you know your cost of goods per unit for these ASINs, you can just add that in there, multiply it by units sold, and then subtract it from that proceeds number, and that's going to give you your actual profit number. So the other thing that we're doing here is helping you kind of visualize how that proceeds calculation looks over the 12 weeks. And so the blue bars above the x-axis, that's sales, and everything below the x-axis is what's being taken away from sales. And this green line here is that proceeds amount, which is basically the blue, minus everything else. So it's a nice way to visualize your proceeds over time. Again, you can click on an individual product and see how that proceeds number is changing. And then, the other thing is this particular table has, all these key metrics that we were showing. And so you can sort within this table to really quickly see your high performers and low performers and understand, which products you may want to kind of cut from your lineup to get rid of those that are taking away from your product, or see if there's anything that you need to address with your business. We're also kind of laying out, the overall proceeds calculation in a donut graph. So you can see, basically this entire donut is all of your sales. And you can see that 48% is coming home in proceeds, 20% is going away to returns, 25% to fees, and about 5 or 6% to advertising. So really powerful report here. And then one final thing is the hover enables you to see those ratios over time, which is a slightly different and also useful way to look at it. So you can look at your tacos, cost of sales, return rate, and margin over time very quickly by each product. So you can see for this particular one that 1 week of returns really had the return rate spiking and the margin dropping. And so you can kind of understand how those ratios are changing over time for each of your products.
Good. And Trevor is asking if we have any plans to increase the window of time from 12 weeks to a full year of data.
Yeah, that is a great question. And we absolutely do. So that SKU economics data set allows us to go back a full 2 years. And so, we just released this report, and to start, we felt like having a quarter of data on a weekly basis was a good window, but we knew that, right away, a larger time frame like a year or 2 years would also be helpful. So yes, we very likely will be following up with a 1 or 2 year time frame, maybe at a monthly basis, so you can understand seasonality and see how all of these things are changing over a longer time frame.
Yeah, and we always love to talk to customers one-on-one as well. So if you have certain use cases or reports or things that you have in mind that you think would be helpful, feel free to reach out to us. We love hopping on the call to talk to you all. A couple other questions here. Any plans to integrate SellerPulse with Restock Pro?
That is a great question. So as you can see here, we have Restock Pro just a click away from SellerPulse. And we certainly are doing a lot to make these two complementary. You saw we have the low inventory level alert, out of stock alerts. And so I think for Restock Pro users, those are definitely valuable features. So yeah, I think our goal here is that SellerPulse and Restock Pro are complementary products. But as far as any direct integrations, I don't think we have any plans for that. Restock Pro is still the choice if you want a complete FBA management, FBA inventory management system, and then SellerPulse in regards to inventory is really more along alerting and insights and reporting. So certainly think that they are complementary, but no direct integrations planned.
Okay, and then back to the proceeds report. Are the commissions added to the proceed calculation?
Yes, those commissions are added in. Yes.
All right. And while we're waiting to see if we have any other questions, one more just popped in. Any plans for us to be able to upload costs so profit can be calculated here? Oh, great question. Yeah, cost
Yeah,
of goods. Yep.
that is a great question, and yeah, you guys are basically seeing into the future and seeing into my roadmap. That is definitely something on our list. You know, currently we're just giving you the ability to export this data and do that calculation yourself. But what we want to do is have it to where you export the data, drop in your COGS data, and then upload that into SellerPulse. So it's just a one-time deal. And then you know, your COGS data is in the tool going forward. That's definitely on the roadmap and something that we intend to do. Yeah, and you know, Seller Central has a SKU economics report of their own. It's not as robust as this one, but I think one of the big advantages of our report is, you know, I think sellers feel a lot better sharing their cost of goods data with us. You know, we certainly are going to protect your data and keep it safe, and we have no interests in you know, looking into your cost of goods and competing in any way, right? But I think sellers sometimes are a little wary of sharing those cost of goods figures with Amazon. And so, you know, if that is you and you're thinking, man, I would like to have a tool for this, but I don't want to upload my COGS within Amazon, then, you know, once we add that feature, I think this will be a great solution for that.
And Louis, can you go back to the FBA fees report? Um, we have a question, just wanted to see, somebody wants to see where the referral fees or commission is on that report.
Yes, sorry, I had to reload there. I think it kind of timed out on me. Yeah, so the refund commission fee right here.
Yes, and so
And then
Shweta,
the
does that,
referral fee as well. So the refund
yeah.
commission fee is, you know, on the when it's coming back, but then the referral fee is highlighted there.
Yep, hopefully that answers the question. Thank you. All right, anything else that you want to add, Louis, about what's coming soon for SellerPulse? We already shared a few things, but obviously, you know, you're always thinking of enhancements and wanting to talk to customers and sellers and hearing what they need.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's actually a good segue into another set of valuable features that I can quickly touch on. So, you know, I went over the alerts and the reports, but we also have these weekly summaries for the inventory report and the returns report. So if you're getting these reports, you can turn on those weekly summaries, and that's going to basically give you a nice summary of these reports in your inbox. So currently we're looking at the returns weekly summary email, and this is going to show you returns over the last 7 days, the products returned and the reasons in the word cloud, and also over the last 90 days. So, you know, if this is valuable to you, instead of having to log in and do all of this, you get this nice email in your inbox, and this actually looks really great on mobile as well. So we have one for returns and the inventory report. So one of the things that you can expect to see is weekly summaries for the SKU economics report and the buy box report. So that's certainly one. Another thing I'll call out is you know, coming into 2024, we had no reports in SellerPulse, and we have been, you know, if you have been a SellerPulse customer throughout this year, I think your experience has been probably every time you log in, you see something new. And we have no plans of stopping that in 2025. So, you know, expect if you sign up today, you know, expect to see more and more rolling out. We're also, you know, looking at improvements to our existing reports. the buy box report has been really valuable to a lot of sellers. It's currently showing a snapshot of the buy box status currently, but it does not have a history. So that's something that we're going to look at as well. And yeah, I mean, we're also always looking at different ways to leverage all of the data that Amazon is providing. So, certainly expect to see more reports and more visualizations within the reports. SKU economics data at larger time frames is certainly one that's high on the list.
All right, and we have one seller, Chris. He raised his hand, so I'm going to go ahead and allow you to talk. If you want to ask your question verbally, I think you should have permission to unmute and talk. Maybe it's not working. So feel free to put it in the chat or reach out to us afterwards. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us today. Hopefully you found this valuable, that you learned something new. If you're a current customer and you want to talk about your options with your current plan, how to upgrade or get access to these reports, please reach out to us. And if you're not a customer yet, we hope that you'll become a customer of ours soon. We'd love to talk to you as well. So reach out to us at any time at support@ecomengine.com. You can reach me directly at Colleen@ecomengine.com. And we wish you the best in Q4. I know it's a busy time, so I hope everybody has a great holiday season. All right, and thanks, Louis.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.